Welcome to the world's first and only heat map tool that tells you how to make more money with your website. No, seriously. Heatmap is your on-site analytics platform that ties revenue to every pixel on every page of your website. You see, traditional heat map tools, they show analytics like clicks, scrolls, and sessions, which is nice if you're interested in selling page views, but they don't provide actionable data that's going to help pay the bills. But with this puppy right here, well, you get metrics like revenue per click and revenue per session. Data points that tie revenue to every single element on every single page of your site. That way, you're optimizing for buyer behavior, not just for random site traffic. All right, now that you started using the industry's best metrics to guide CRO experiments, let's dive in to a brief tutorial so you can start making more money. Chapter 2, Dashboard. So here's your heat map dashboard, which will be blank when you first get started. But rest assured, after you've pasted the snippet into your header and purchase pages, element level revenue data is being tracked and will appear after you reach the minimum number of sessions needed. We recommend at least 5,000 visits on a page before taking action on the insights from a heat map. Just like split testing, you don't want to take action on your website until you have a reliable amount of data. This may take more than 30 days. Okay, so out of the box, the top of your dashboard will show you engaged sessions, revenue per session, scroll depth, and time on site. So let's pause real quick on revenue per session. This metric is actually the amount of money each element drives based on the total visits your website receives. Pretty amazing, right? So let's say you have 10,000 users visit a website and you make $10,000 from an element. Then the revenue per session will be $1. Okay, so as we scroll down the dashboard, you'll see your top pages URLs ranked by engaged sessions in the last 30 days, where you can click into the heat maps directly to start digging around into revenue data. And same thing over here with links to pages with the most rage clicks. Further down the dashboard are other important metrics like site speed breakdowns and JavaScript errors. A note on site speed. Typical one-time speed checks don't really reflect daily performance. But with our tracking, you're getting a much clearer picture of what your customers experience. This helps you optimize site speed effectively. We track your site speed for every visitor and average it over time. This helps you see how code changes or new apps impact site speed daily, allowing you to identify slowdowns or improvements directly from Heatmap. And as for the JavaScript errors, well, these can really harm your SEO and user experience, which is why Heatmap identifies these errors, explains them in plain English, and provides solutions. You can export these reports to developers, making error resolution straightforward. Pretty neat, right? So really the main idea with your dashboard is to give you access to revenue data quickly. It's your starting point for monitoring key metrics, accessing your most important pages, and more. Chapter 3, Heat Maps and Scroll Maps. The first feature you'll want to check out inside your account is the Heat Maps section. And once you click into it, you'll see all of your URLs quickly become searchable in the side navigation bar. Let's pause here for a moment, because what I'm about to show you will not only blow your mind, but it's also like a lot of information. Ha! So feel free to pause this video and follow along with your own instance of Heatmap, because we are about to go deep into the weeds. Okay, so you're probably familiar with heat mapping images that look like this. But now you can click into your heat map and see all of the revenue metrics on every specific element, such as clicks, purchases, revenue, AOV, and more. We'll dive more into that in just a minute. And what's even cooler is heat maps based on session data like traffic source or device, e-commerce data like purchasers versus non-purchasers, or custom filters. So for example, you could look at heat maps based only on purchasers, which would be really valuable for figuring out the absolute best optimizations to make. Another neat feature we want to call attention to here is a heat map compare mode. It lets you apply filters against each other and get a side-by-side toggle for each heat map. This makes it easy to both visualize and analyze two unique segments. Next, you'll want to dig deeper using the data table. This view helps you quickly assess your highest and lowest performing elements. You can filter based on clicks, purchases, revenue, and all the same stuff as you can on heat maps. And lastly, you can rename elements if need be. Or you can take care of element identification and unique naming to make analysis infinitely easier because nobody wants to spend time naming that many elements on that many pages, which is why our tool uses a machine learning model to identify what is what on your website. Heatmap knows your hero image is a hero image. It knows your product tiles are product tiles. It knows an email opt-in is an email opt-in. While most marketers in e-commerce can do this by simply looking at a website, which of these do you want your data associated with? We both know the answer. Moving on to custom filters. These are here in case you want to create a way to analyze specific user behavior from specific sources. Let's say you wanted to look at data on the users who came to your website from Facebook who made a purchase above a certain order value. You would just come over here and set the conditions you want to filter on, which is basically any metric that Google Analytics used to offer. The insights are virtually unlimited. Everything we covered so far on Heatmaps also applies to scrollmaps as well. So over here, you can just toggle to a scroll map of this page. And again, you're able to see not just where folks dropped off, but also the revenue attached to these. This is really valuable to uncover where money is getting left on the table and whether a section should be moved up or down. Chapter 5, screen recordings. Revenue-based screen recordings give you purchaser behavior data like never before. You can now uncover what's working and what can be optimized by watching anonymized visitor interactions like this. We'll just click into the screen recordings icon over here, and we can filter this list by 12 different variables like AOV, source, location, or use custom segments just like we can with Heatmaps. Let's say we want to look at screen recordings from actual purchasers. We can just add that filter here, then select mobile users and rank by location, purchase value, actions, and more. We can then skip to any click, scroll, or movement in a recording and make empirical research way more efficient. Look at this, a beautiful timeline and overview. Mwah! It's gorgeous. But seriously, this is actually really helpful, especially if you're trying to develop new split testing hypotheses for sessions you actually care about. Oliver Kenyon from ConversionWise has literally doubled revenue for his split tests since switching to Heatmap. Attaboy, Oliver. Attaboy. Chapter 6, AI recommendations. Marketers hate being told what to do. Unless the recommendation is coming from an AI prediction engine that combines trillions of data points, right? Right? Well, good news is that Heatmap AI is basically your on-demand CRO expert that can provide specific website improvements to drive higher revenue per session. And yes, these suggestions come from analyzing over $4 billion in e-commerce revenue. That's over 500 AI recommendations, from copy tweaks to reordering sections to enhancing images and everything in between. You made it all the way to the end of this tutorial video? Hot dang, look at you. Nobody watches these things all the way through. Well, while you're here, I can answer some questions you might have been too afraid to ask before you signed up. No, Heatmap doesn't slow down your website. We tested it, duh. And after logging over $2 million in sales, performance was identical with and without our Heatmap snippet on site. Phew. Thank God. And finally, yes, we are GDPR compliant. The only thing we care about more than revenue is privacy. Seriously, Heatmap is 100% GDPR and CCPA ready. In fact, we're tracking visitors anonymously. No sampling ever. Your data is your data. No key logging, no cookie sniffing, no IP logging. We couldn't sell your data to third parties even if we wanted to. Well, we hope this video was useful for you and that you're on your way to making more money with your website. If you'd like to dive deeper into even more optimizations, then you'll definitely want to check out our guide on 10 ways to increase revenue in 30 days or less using revenue-based heat maps.